So we've got a new one, a hot seat, and we are delighted to welcome our first guest. Eileen, do you want to kick us off?
Well, we've got Adrian. There we go, and he's got he's put his camera on so everybody can kind of see him looking in a very tidy study. Adrian, I'm very impressed. I have to have a background on to hide my books here. So we're here talking about your new book, Agile Beyond IT. Yes, look, we've all got we've all bought it and got it here.
Well done.
So we just, Adrian, I've known you for an awful long time and watched you in and around project management. And one of the things about writing a book, the first thing you have to kind of convince a publisher is, well, what's different about your book? What messages have you got in there that are not in any other book?
I think the simplest one here is, whereas most books, most writing, and even most of the Agile project management training courses focus mostly on the project management of IT projects, I wanted to say, well, what does agility look like when applied to the whole of project management? So my book is focused not on the project management of anything, but the project management of lots and lots of different sectors. Okay. But it focuses on the project management and the components of project management itself. The very thing that we've just had about this so-called waterfall versus agile debate, which is a complete non-debate, because waterfall is essentially, when you boil down to it, is a life cycle, and agility is about an awful lot more than a life cycle. So it's complete nonsense. So I've been trying to actually almost champion project management profession and say, what does agility look like in terms of the profession and how we do that job. So that's kind of where what it seeks to do and what makes it really different. And the examples that are throughout the book are from loads of different sectors, anything from sort of finance to retail to even nuclear engineering is in there, believe it or not.
Excellent. Now, when we kind of talk about waterfall and agile, we often have this conversation, waterfall or agile. I get the impression that this agility is just, instead of everything, it kind of overlays everything. You're not talking about, if we kind of follow the principles laid out in your book, we need to kind of throw things away. It's about developing what we've already got and making it better.
Well, exactly so. I mean, I can go back just quickly to several years ago when APM had something called the sort of Agile Working Group I was part of. And a workshop was organized to take a look at what was then the set of APM competencies and ask the question, do we need to make any changes to the competencies to take account of adapting to agility? And the conclusion we came to at the end of that day was very minor tweaks. There were probably just some additions around some of the so-called soft skills, the people stuff like leadership and teams and things like that, and focusing more on collaborative behaviors. But otherwise, it was really just tinkering around the edges. And project management remains project management. All agility is an adaptation of it to a particular mindset and a particular approach, which is why agility doesn't work for every organization, because you need a particular mindset, you need a particular organization culture in order for agility to work, whether it's agility for software development, project management, marketing, engineering, or whatever. So it is a particular adaptation of and use of project management, but it's about all of project management, the technical skills, if you like, and techniques, from risk to scheduling to change control, and all the people ones as well, leadership, teams, communication, etc. And what I do in the book is describe what those look like when agility is applied to them.
Okay, and so, you know, can we do the whole thing, or can we do bits of it? Are we looking for a kind of an evolution or a revolution now your book's come out, Adrian?
Well, I mean, one of the, agility is certainly out there at the moment. Business agility is an increasing thing. There are, if you look at just about every sector disruptor, whether it's Tesla in automotive, or Amazon in retail, or any of the disruptors in the finance sector, every single one of those organizations have an awful lot of agility about them. So it's then a question of organizations saying, dare we not move towards agility? But it's really hard, most particularly because it's a massive culture change for those organizations. You've got to move from command and control to more sort of collaborative, more empowering, and that's seriously hard to do. So the question is it worth that kind of investment to get the value return? But having said that, when you've got disruptors not just biting at your heels, but actually taking huge chunks out of market share, can you avoid actually going down that road as an organization?
I suspect not. So a little bit or a lot, depending on our organisation. Now, I was very pleased, Adrian, to find that there's actually a section in there for the PMO. Specifically, you actually mention us by name and also demonstrate an understanding of what the PMO can and is able to do in an organisation. Do you just quickly want to touch on kind of where you think the role of the PMO might be, and kind of taking this book and using it in anger in their organisation?
Oh, now you're asking me. Oh, tricky question. No, actually, this was quite straightforward. I've long believed, and I've designed, built, and operated enterprise PMOs for a number of clients over the years. And I've always gone for taken a view that enterprise PMOs have a very high potential value. They are the ones who, in terms of sort of change activities, they're the ones who kind of take the strategy and they make it real. Agility is in managing a portfolio is saying, well, hang on a second, things do change, business requirements do change. One of the values that the PMO can be doing is make sure that they're keeping those key business requirements prioritized and then translated into the programs and projects needed to deliver. That they're also, from the delivery side of things, that they're also got a light touch involvement in looking to see what progress is as well, and saying, well, okay, looking for trends, do things need to change? Plus also agility and actually how they operate. I agree, it's great to automate things as far as possible, because that again can mean that data is current, and if any changes need to be made, that then you've got the data to be able to make rapid decisions and be very fleet of foot, be very agile and very adaptable in those ways. So I'm a big fan of high value enterprise PMOs.
So it's a great kind of textbook, for the PMO to start thinking about, kind of where our service is going, what are we going to do, how can we help drive, agility in the organization. So just one last question then, as we kind of wrap up. Going through the book, I know when we start writing books, we have in our head a picture of kind of where we want it to go. But what have you learned as you've written the book, Adrian?
I think as I wrote the book, what have I learned? Can I actually change that slightly, because I think it's more what I've actually learned from people coming, sort of responding to me, and I'm pleased to say I've had lots of fantastic responses. But actually, one of the things that's come out of it, from especially a lot of senior managers, is they've looked at the conditions for agility part of the book towards the beginning, and then they've looked at the roadmap towards, how do I become agile? And they've said to me, but this is actually applicable. It says, I'm trying to move agility outside of IT and move towards a more business operating model, and that sometimes involves projects and sometimes business as usual stuff. And the roadmap stuff is as applicable to me in that space as it is just about how do I create an organization which helps agile or project agility to thrive. And that's been fantastic feedback. And I've got hopefully something happening in the pipeline at the moment in terms of some video logs on business agility that will then pick up on that theme.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, 10 minutes flies. Where can we get your book, Adrian?
Well, it's obviously the usual suspects from Amazon.
I think Lindsay might have a page as well.
However, a
prompts.
special deal for anyone can actually get it from me for if they're under UK postage only. They can get it from me for £23, including postage and packing. They can contact me through LinkedIn, and we'll take it from there. Like I say, so it's £23 special offer for House of PMO fans tuning into this, or indeed seeing the recording.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Adrian. Hope everybody found it useful. I don't know whether we've got time for some live questions, but if you do have any questions for Adrian, we might have a minute in chat, or do contact him on LinkedIn. I'm sure he'll get back to you. Thanks very much for your time, Adrian.
Pleasure, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you
very much.